So the Toronto International Film Festival this year is a mix of in-person and virtual events. And while movies are being screened with live audiences, the crowds are reduced, and it's definitely a really scaled-down event. So how do you all think, we've grown up, being big fans of TIFF. How do you think this impacts the excitement of the festival?
Well, I was at the festival. I was covering the festival all weekend, a mix of virtual and live events. So I actually covered Jessica Chastain's red carpet last night for her film, The Eyes of Tammy Faye.
Amazing.
I will say that on that carpet and speaking to Jessica, I did feel the excitement for one of those performances that is going to be talked about for months and months and months. I mean, I can't wait for all of you to see this movie. She plays Tammy Faye Baker. I mean, so I'm talking about the eyelashes, the hair, the accent, the singing. I mean, she really transforms.
Yes.
And I do think this is doing what TIFF does best, which is kick off an Oscar campaign. We are going to be hearing Jessica Chastain's voice over the next 6 months, like culminating at the Oscars for a nomination in February. So I think TIFF is still doing that, and in a different way. Like, people are having film conversations online. People are arguing about it on Twitter, instead of at the cafe around the corner after the screening. That said, yes, there is the glamour factor is lower.
I remember being at a party once with Melissa Grello, and we actually stalked Jessica Chastain and went up to her and, basically forced her to get a picture.
And she said she watches the social.
I know, that's what she said.
She actually might be watching right now.
Well, hopefully she is. But there was that kind of energy, Mel. Everyone remembers it, of running into possibly someone on the street who was famous, But Eva, I'm curious, what is your experience, and how are you finding it this year?
Yeah, I'm not there, so you have to feel that energy. I think also the screenings have so much energy inside the theaters, and so when you limit the number of people and not that many seats, it's a little hard to capture the magic as it was before. But what I do love is the show must go on attitude. I love that. Hey, we may have to limit some people, but we're going to show this movie. We're going to screen this movie. We're going to celebrate the arts and film. And so I do love that perseverance, that kind of undeterred perseverance to we've got to continue to applaud these films and applaud these filmmakers. And that's what I really respect about Cannes still doing their festival in the safest way possible. I think it's a good thing.
Jess?
I actually love that you can screen movies from home this year, and it's not cost prohibitive. And it got me thinking how wonderful it would be for film lovers across the country, or maybe even internationally, who can't make it to Toronto for the festival for maybe financial reasons, COVID concerns, or because of work. Because I have to admit, sometimes in the past, TIFF has felt like a party that maybe not everyone is invited to. It's like VIP this and invite only that. So this year, there's something about it that feels more inclusive, to me at least, and in a way, more about the actual love of the movies themselves.
Well, I'm going to pick up on that because there's the love of the movies and then obviously the love of the actors who are in the movies. And the one thing that has really shifted this year, to your point, Cynthia, is who you may run into. And a few years ago, which is the last time that TIFF was up and running the way that we all know and love it, it was J-Lo's Hustlers movie run. And we were really lucky. Cynthia, you and I were there. We were able to go to the premiere. And then this is how my night ended, y'all, at the Hustlers after party. I mean, you can't do this virtually. I'm not bumping into J-Lo virtually on Zoom.
No, you're not.
You're actually, so this was at an event that she was at. And so, this is the stuff that you're missing, even though the actors are still going hard and everyone's pushing hard for their film. So I can't wait for that part to come back.
That's a good point, Mal. Yesterday, I hosted a TIFF in conversation with Stephen Yeun, who was just nominated for an Oscar for his amazing performance in Minari. And it was a great conversation. We had a great time. I just would have wished that I could have done that in conversation with him at the Lightbox, which is where those events usually take place, not just because I would have wanted FaceTime with Stephen, but because the audience could hear from this filmmaker, from this artist. That said, I do think that TIFF still and always does a great job of showcasing emerging talent. Yes. And one example is Dennis Goulet, who used to be a programmer for TIFF. And Dennis's film, Night Raiders, is a telefilm and New Zealand co-pro and made in collaboration with a global Indigenous artist community, including Taika Waititi, who produced the film. So the film is an allegory of Indigenous schools and residential schools and that situation in Canada, but also a dystopian tale. And the thing is that it is getting so much buzz without being overshadowed, forgive me for saying, by J-Lo, Mel. And so it's been really great to see Dennis's film getting this buzz. So everybody see Night Raiders, but also it's amazing that these emerging filmmakers are really getting some TIFF shine.